Jesus has an amazingly adverse reaction to things looking like something that they're not being. The problem is not so much with the tree that it doesn't have fruit. The problem with the tree is that it looks like it should have fruit. The terminology in full leaf will communicate that now this tree was in a position that it should now be able to give benefit to passersby. But when Jesus gets there, there's no benefit. It looks good, but it ain't good.
The Lion of Judah, Lion of Judah, you reign over everything, you reign over everything. You're the Lion of Judah, Lion of Judah, you are the great I am, you are the great I am.
Mark 11, starting at verse 12, and it reads, the next morning as they were leaving Bethany, Jesus was hungry. He noticed a fig tree in full leaf a little way off. So he went over to see if he can find any figs. But there were only leaves because it was too early in the season for fruit. Then Jesus said to the tree, may no one ever eat your fruit again. And the disciples heard him say it. Skip down to verse 20. Then the next morning, as they passed by the fig tree he had cursed, the disciples noticed it had withered from the roots up. Peter remembered what Jesus had said to the tree on the previous day and exclaimed, look, Rabbi, the fig tree you cursed has withered and died. That the reason the tree was not doing what it was intended and created to do was because disease was already inside the tree. Growth without fruit is a sign of decay. So then I must ask, what is our fruit? What is our fruit as a ministry? What is our fruit as individuals? Because I believe that we've gotten to the point that we like to show things of growth, but we don't always show fruit. We've gotten to the point where we can talk about growth in either budgets or growth in people or growth in our ability to do ministry. But when we look at it, the fruit that should come aren't there. The first one he says is faith. Have faith in God. Our faith in God goes as far as our reason can understand. But once God leads us into the unreasonable, then we no longer trust the same God that we said is able to do everything. I'll say that you're all powerful, but then I'll talk about all the powers that are over me and act like there's nothing else I can do because I'm going to have to succumb to them when I'm acting like you got all the power, but apparently this thing got power over me. Wait a minute. How can you say I'm all powerful? How can you say I rule the cosmos? How can you say I got it all under control? And now all of a sudden you forget whatever the thing is. He's like, really? You want to see fruit? Evaluate your prayers. I want to give you more access to me because you can produce in me what I can't produce in myself. I know that I failed yesterday. I know I didn't do it right yesterday. I know I keep saying I'm not going to do it no more. But God, if you would just enter in, then things could be different. Healing could be available. Deliverance is available. God, can you do it, please? It's also evidenced in your forgiveness. Watch this. He says, now, it's evidence in your prayer, but before you jump into the prayer, before you show off how much you believe, I want you to show off how much you can forgive. I want you to show off how much you can let go of the offense so that you can stand right before me. You know what a fruit that should always be evidenced in the church and the life of the believer? It's forgiveness. And not forgiveness as a weakness. Not like, oh, we're cowering, where I'm going to say I forgive you. No. The real thing that strips away the bitterness that lies up in us. I'm talking about that real forgiveness. And you know, sometimes the biggest place that you'll see this is when you have a loved one that you care deeply about and they hurt you. That family member that exposed your secret and you say never again. That spouse and or ex-spouse that broke your heart and your trust. He says, what do you think about them? What do you think about the one that was there and did that to you when you were a child and you didn't deserve it? What about the one that broke into your house and stole your things? The one that sabotaged you on your job, intentionally to bring you down. Do you forgive them? And it is truly a miracle for us to produce this fruit. So, my prayer is that you would give God access to you in such a way where you start seeing your faith grow and forgiveness doesn't become something that you do occasionally. It becomes your lifestyle. I guarantee your life will be better for it.